de año 2025, con el propósito, ya lo hemos dicho, de fortalecer todas las líneas estratégicas
strengthening all the
enmarcadas
strategic
en las
lines
7
in
transformaciones,
the
destacar
7
lo que significa
transformations to
esto
highlight
para el
what it
país, lo que ha
means
sido o
for the
fue la gran
country.
consulta
Is
a nivel
a
nacional durante el
great
2024,
consultation
con
and
resultados
nationwide
satisfactorios
with
y la puesta en marcha de
satisfactory
esta gran
results,
estrategia de cara al año
and this great
2030
strategy
en
towards
varios ámbitos, como ya
2030 in
sabemos,
several
lo que
fields, as
tiene
we
que ver con
know,
consolidar la
what
seguridad
has to do
interna,
with
renovar el modelo de
consolidating
organización al
inner
pueblo, la
security
profundización de la democracia
and
directa, enfrentar la
deepen
emergencia
direct
climática y la
democracy,
diplomacia
face the
bolivariana de
climate
paz,
crisis,
uno de los
and
baluartes de la revolución.
Bolivarian diplomacy.
Buenas
Good
noches, mejor
afternoon,
dicho.
good evening, I would like to say.
Y saludo
Greetings
a todos los
to
gobernadores,
all of the governors,
gobernadoras, alcaldes, alcaldesas,
mayors,
jefes militares de
military
todas las
heads of
regiones,
all
zonas
the
de defensa,
regions,
jefes
so
policiales,
police head
líderes y lideresas,
leaders and
voceros y voceras de
spokespeople
consejos comunales,
of
circuitos
communal
comunales,
councils, communal
comunas,
circuits, communes,
colectivos de todo el país,
collective
movimientos
of the whole
sociales,
country, social
aquí en la
movements,
sala
here in
del
the
Salón Boyacá,
Boyacá Hall,
tan bella y representativa
so beautiful and
del
representative
Palacio
of
de
the
Miraflores, esta Casa del
Miraflores
Pueblo.
Palace, the house of the
Tenemos
people.
como invitados
We
especiales
have special
al
guests,
Estado Mayor Superior
the
de la Fuerza Armada Nacional
superior
Bolivariana,
staff of the Bolivarian National Armed
presentes,
Forces,
a los jefes policiales
the
del país,
police
del
heads of the
SEBIN,
country,
de GESIM,
from Sabine Hassim,
6CPC, Policía
CPC,
Nacional Bolivariana,
National
presentes.
Bolivarian Police here,
Igualmente, bueno, todos sus equipos de trabajo.
and all of the work staff,
Está el alto mando político de la revolución,
the superior
compañero
staff of the
Diosdado Cabello
revolution,
Rondón,
Diosdado Cabello Rondon,
Jorge Rodríguez,
Jorge Rodriguez.
cual reitero las
I
felicitaciones, ha sido
reiterate
reelecto
congratulations to
quinta vez
him. He has been re-elected for the 5th time
como presidente de la Asamblea
as
Nacional,
President of the National Assembly.
a la vicepresidenta
The
Delcy
Vice
Rodríguez,
President
la
Delcy
primera
Rodriguez,
combatiente, doctora Cilia Flores.
Dr. Celia Flores.
Se encuentra también presente el gran polo patriótico
Here also is present the Great Patriotic
en
Pole
pleno.
in this
Saludo muy
plenary
especial.
session.
Vamos
Greetings.
a ver si protocolo los anotó a todos.
Let's see if we have them all.
Correcto.
That is correct.
Gran polo patriótico.
The Great Patriotic
El
Pole,
Partido Comunista de Venezuela, glorioso, histórico.
the Communist Party of Venezuela,
El movimiento
glorious
electoral
and
del pueblo.
historic, the electoral movement of the people,
La organización renovadora
the
Ora,
Aura
Ora,
organization,
orar,
praying,
reflexionar
reflect,
y accionar.
and act.
Ora, el PPT,
The PPT,
PPT, la UPB,
UPV,
Tupamaro,
Tupamato,
Alianzas por el Cambio,
Alliances for Change,
Somos Venezuela,
We Are Venezuela,
el Partido Verde,
the Green Party,
el Movimiento Futuro,
the Future Movement,
el Partido Enamórate Venezuela,
the
la Dirección
Enamórate
Nacional del
Party of
Partido
Venezuela,
Socialista Unido de Venezuela,
the direction of the United Socialist Party of
Podemos.
Venezuela.
correcto,
That is correct.
y la Juventud Socialista
And the Socialist
Unida
Youth
de Venezuela.
United of Venezuela.
Igualmente, los vicepresidentes
Also,
de gobierno,
Vice President of
vicepresidentas,
Government,
ministros,
ministers,
ministras, están todos los ministros, ¿verdad?
all of the ministers are here.
Ah, bueno. Perfecto.
Perfect.
Jefes de las grandes misiones de nueva
Chiefs
generación
of the great missions of new generations
se encuentran presentes,
are here present.
además del ministro de la Defensa, el Estado Mayor Superior,
In addition to
General
the
en
Ministry
Jefe
of Defense,
Vladimir Padrino López,
and the
el General
Superior
en
Staff,
Jefe Domingo
Vladimir Padrino
Antonio
Lopez,
Hernández Lares,
General-in-Chief
el
Domingo
Mayor
Antonio
General
Hernández
Ornella
Lares,
Ferreira, Jefe del Estado Mayor de la Comandancia
Major
en Jefe,
General, Head Chief of
los
the
mayores
Superior
generales, el Mayor
Staff,
General Castillo Rengifo,
Major
segundo
General
comandante y
Castillo
jefe del
Rengifo,
Estado Mayor
Second Commander
del
and
CEO,
Chief of the Superior Staff,
igualmente el comandante
and
del
also
Ejército, Mayor General
Commander
Johan
of the Army,
Alexander
Major
Hernández
General
Lares,
Johan Alexander Hernandez Lares,
el comandante de la Armada Bolivariana,
Commander of the
Almirante
Bolivarian
Azorrat
Armed,
Abdel Hadi Suleiman Gutiérrez,
Admiral Suleiman
el
Gutierrez,
Mayor General
Major
Lenin
General
Lorenzo Ramírez
Lenin
Villamil,
Lorenzo
comandante
Ramirez
general
Villamil,
de la
Commander
Aviación
General
Militar Bolivariana,
of the Military
el Mayor
Bolivarian
General
Aviation, Major
Elio
General
Ramón Estrada
Elio
Paredes,
Ramón Estrada
comandante
Paredes,
general de la Guardia
and General
Nacional
Commander
Bolivariana,
of the Bolivarian
el Mayor
National
General Orlando
Guard,
Ramón
Major
Romero
General
Bolívar,
Orlando Ramón
comandante
Romero
general de la
Bolívar,
Milicia Bolivariana,
Commander of the
presentes
Bolivarian Military,
los viceministros,
Vice
por favor,
Ministers,
mis saludos a todos los
greetings to
viceministros,
all of the Vice
el Inspector
Ministers,
General de la Fuerza Armada, Mayor General Prieto
Inspector
Martínez,
Major General Prieto Martinez,
el Mayor General Serrano Gotera, Contralor
Major
General de la
General
Fuerza Armada
Serrano
Nacional
Gotera,
Bolivariana, Comandante de la Defensa
Commander
Aeroespacial Integral
of
CODAI,
Defense,
Mayor General Tremón Jiménez,
the Secretary of Integral Defense,
igual están
Jimenez,
los comandantes
and
de las regiones
commanders
de defensa
of
integral,
the
Mayor
regions
General
of
González
Integral
Ovalles,
Defense,
comandante de la región
Major
occidental,
General Govalles, Commander of the Western
comandante de los
Region,
Andes,
Commander
Mayor
of Los
General
Andes,
Martínez Campos,
Major General Martinez
el
Campos,
comandante de los Llanos,
Commander
Mayor
of
General
Llanos,
Hernández
Major
Briceño,
General Hernández Briceño,
el comandante general de la región
Commander
central,
General
Villamizar
of the
Gómez, Mayor
Central
General Villamizar Gómez,
Region, Major General
Mayor
Pizarro
General
Gomez,
Zulbarán Quintero, comandante del
Major General
Oriente,
Zumbar Quinteros, Commander of the
Mayor General
Eastern
Medrano
Region,
Machado, comandante de Guayana,
Major General Medrano Machado, Commander
el
of
Mayor
Guyana,
General Hernández
Major
Apchi,
General Hernandez Apchi,
comandante de la región estratégica
Commander of the
marítima
Strategic
insular,
Region, Maritime and Insular
Almirante,
Region, and Admiral as well.
y el Mayor General
And
Julio
Major
Guillermo
General
Rodríguez Díaz,
Julio Guillermo
comandante de la
Rodríguez
región
Díaz, Commander
estratégica,
of the
región
Strategic Region,
capital.
Capital Region.
Bueno, mi saludo
Greetings
a todos los comandantes de
to all
SODI,
of the
de unidades
commanders
militares,
of the
de
military
unidades
units,
policiales,
police units,
a todo el poder popular,
all
todo el
the
poder
popular
comunal,
power, the communal power,
en esta primera reunión
in this first meeting
del año
of the year
2025.
2025.
Llegó el año 2025.
2025 has arrived.
También se encuentra aquí la alcaldesa de
Here is
Caracas,
also
Almiranta
Mayor of
Carmen
Caracas,
Teresa Meléndez Rivas,
Carmen Teresa Melendez Rivas,
jefe de gobierno de Caracas,
Head of Government of Caracas,
el teniente de caballería Naún Fernández.
Lieutenant Elon Fernandez,
Bueno, se trajo varios burros para acá, burritos y caballos. Teniente de caballería. Y una carrucha también. Teniente
Yeah.
de carrucha. Naún
Several
Fernández. Saludos a
people
todos,
along with him.
compañeros, compañeras.
Greetings to all fellow mates.
Precisamente
Precisely.
estamos en la primera reunión de
We're in the
trabajo.
first working meeting.
Los que están en pantalla, conectados,
All those tuned
de 1000 líderes, lideresas,
to
jefes y jefas
1,000 leaders
allá en sus regiones.
there in their
Saludo
regions.
de feliz años
Greetings,
y bendiciones para
happy
todo
year,
nuestro pueblo.
and blessings for our people.
Hoy 6 de enero,
Today,
Lunes.
January 6th,
la primera
Monday,
semana, el primer lunes, la primera
first
semana
week,
completa
first
del
Monday,
2025.
the first whole week
Llegó
of
el
2025.
2025,
2025 is
como que
here
fuera ayer,
as it
amaneció el siglo
was
XXI.
yesterday, the 21st
Han
century.
sido estos años de mucho aprendizaje,
These years have been of
mucha
a lot of
afirmación y
lessons
reafirmación de nuestros valores,
and reaffirming our values,
de mucha brega, trabajo,
a lot
lucha
of work and fight
por la realización del proyecto
for
y los sueños
the
originales
realization of our
de nuestra
projects
patria
and our
Venezuela.
dreams of our
El
homeland,
año
Venezuela.
2024
Year
ha
2024
sido
has
un
been
gran año.
a great year.
Lo que está a la vista
What you see,
es fácil de ver.
it's easier to see.
No necesita anteojos.
You don't need glasses to see it.
El que tenga ojos,
If you have
que
eyes,
vea y vea.
you can see.
Y el que tenga oído,
And
que
if you
oiga
have
y
ears,
oiga completo.
you can hear it.
Venezuela ha tenido un gran año.
Venezuela
2024,
has had a great
la
2024 year
senda de su recuperación
in the
definitiva
path of its
y de la
definitive
construcción
recovery
de la
and the
prosperidad
building of
con
prosperity with
de
equality.
la prosperidad económica en un modelo
Economic prosperity
propio.
in its own model.
Hemos parido
We have built
una patria
a
con
homeland
conciencia, con
with
valores,
consciousness, values,
segura del destino,
safe of its destiny,
segura de los pasos que está dando.
sure of the
Y es bonito
steps it's
revisar,
taking,
como vamos a revisar en los días que
and
están
it's
por
beautiful
venir,
to review as we're going to review in
revisar muy
the
bien
upcoming days
lo que hicimos en el
what
2024,
we did in 2024,
lo que activamos en el 2024.
what we installed in 2024, and how Venezuela was able to continue with its path of economic
De
growth,
recuperación social,
social
de
recovery,
profundización de la democracia
deepening
y de
in our
derrota
democracy,
de los planes
and defeating
imperialistas
the
del brote
imperialist
fascista
plan of
de
the
odio,
fascist
intolerancia
outbreak
y
of
violencia.
hatred, intolerance, and
Hay
violence.
que ver
We need to see
cómo es posible
how
lograr
it's
tanto.
possible to achieve so much.
En el mundo se preguntan, están llegando
The
casi
world
2000
is
delegados
wondering.
de gobiernos,
Almost 2,000
movimientos
delegates are
políticos,
arriving
sociales,
from governments, social
culturales,
movements, cultural
intelectuales.
movements,
Más de
intellectual
2000
movements.
invitados
Over
están llegando a
2,000
Venezuela
guests are arriving in Venezuela
por tierra, por agua,
by
por
land, by
aire.
sea, by
Si han
air.
venido a acompañarnos en estos
They
momentos
came
y días en
to
que estamos
join us in these
escribiendo la
days
historia
when we are
hermosa y
writing
grande
a beautiful and great history
de este siglo
of this
XXI, ya en el
21st
año
century
2025,
here in the year 2025,
ya en el año 25 de este siglo.
the 25th year of this century.
Es bonito ir revisando,
It's
como vamos a
beautiful
ir
to
revisando
review as we're going to do
los pasos dados
the steps we have
en
taken
cada uno
in each
de los
of
frentes de batalla.
the
Hemos ido llevando
fighting
cada
fronts.
frente de batalla
We have been
de manera
leading
armoniosa,
each
concienzuda,
front in a harmonious,
planificada.
planned way.
No nos hemos dejado perturbar
We
por nada. Estamos
didn't
curados
allow
de espanto.
anybody to
Así lo
disrupt
declaro.
us.
El pueblo de Venezuela
The
está
Venezuelan
curado de
people
espanto y está preparado
Is cured from
para seguir
disruption and is
pa'lante.
ready to
seguir
move
avanzando.
forward to make progress.
Ni Coquito nos hace las guerras psicológicas
No one
que
can
montan.
carry out the psychological wars,
Ciberpsicológicas las llaman ahora, ¿verdad?
cyber wars as they call
En el
it,
ciberespacio, en las redes.
in social
Ni
media.
Coquito.
Anybody.
Que hemos ido construyendo la inmunidad
We have been building immunity,
espiritual,
spiritual, psychological,
política,
and political immunity,
individual y colectiva de un
as
pueblo
well as individual and collective
frente
of
a
a people,
tantas campañas
in the face
de
of
odio,
so many campaigns of hatred,
frente a tantas campañas
campaigns
para incubar
to
el virus de la división,
inoculate the virus
de la
of
violencia,
division,
del
violence,
enfrentamiento fratricida entre
and
venezolanos y
fratricidal
venezolanos.
fight
sabido
between
defender
Venezuelans.
Con inteligencia,
We have been able to
con
defend
audacia
with
y con
intelligence
éxito el derecho a la unión
and success
de
the
Venezuela,
right
el derecho a la
of
paz de
union
Venezuela, el
of
derecho
Venezuela, the right to peace of
al
Venezuela,
avance
the right
en la
to
construcción de su propio
advance
modelo
in building its
de
own model
prosperidad
of
y de
prosperity and life.
Y bonito que este lunes, primer
It's
lunes del
beautiful
año,
that this Monday, the first Monday of the year,
empezado
has
bien
started
noticioso,
with great news,
como tiene que ser.
as it has to be.
El año 2025 va a
The
ser
year 2025 is going
muchísimo
to be
mejor que el
a
2024
lot better than
y
2024
que los años precedentes.
and the previous
Así
years.
que se dice, Rodríguez.
That's how you say it.
Precedente o antecedente. Precedente.
The
Ah.
previous years.
Va a ser muchísimo mejor.
It's
en
going to
todos
be
los
better
aspectos.
in all aspects.
Hemos venido construyendo
We have been building
nuestro camino
our path
que todos conocemos
that we all know,
paso a paso.
step by step.
Yo
I always carry with me the symbols of our path so that all Venezuelans and our friends of the world that are watching this broadcasting today, January 6th, starting this 2025 in a beautiful way, the first Monday of the year, can have as reference the inspiration with believer, without a doubt. Review constantly the words, the speeches of our liberators among believer. Above all, a document that without a doubt represents one of the most important documents of doctrine, state, political doctrine, ethics, and a spiritual force North America in all centuries of our America, and encompasses Bolivarian concepts, original concepts of death in a historic time and of all historic times that have meant inspiration for Venezuela throughout the decades and centuries. Our inspiration is believer. It is not Washington. It is not the North. Our inspiration is here in our land, in the Orinoco River, here in South America. Our project is South American. It's not from Washington. It's not in Monroe. It's ours, and we say it proudly. Bolívar is ours, of every day, of yesterday, of today, of always. The Angostura speech points out so many elements that have historic, political, and importance, and we can even say that in spite of the past of the year, from the point of view of political science, scientific, political scientists, when the Liberator making an analysis of its time, of its historic time, was saying to the emerging American people, Bolívar started to create the identity of the Venezuelan people. At its time, he had an army that was the people itself, the United Liberator Army, that founded a republic. The republic, the South American Republic in arms, the Great Colombia, the Third Republic, founded in Orinoco River. In the face of political theories, he was trying to explain what we were, and the Liberator said, united the American people under ignorance and tyranny and vice. We haven't been able to acquire nor know wiseness or virtue and honor, three key elements of the Bolivarian project of then and of the 21st century: knowledge, culture, wisdom, mental power, to know, political power, military power, state power, and virtue, ethics, honesty, love of what it's ours, our land, our people. The Liberator said, we haven't been able to acquire knowledge, power, nor virtue followers of dangerous masters, the lessons we have learned are destructive. Maybe can be explained the Bolivarian political theory after 2 centuries of post-colonial domination, oligarchic domination, where the last name took power from 1830s with the treason to Bolivar by Páez until 1998 when the people rose in arms with its vote and led Chavez to carry out the Bolivarian Revolution. The lessons we have learned and the examples we have studied are the most destructive. And he ended with a phrase that impressed months ago when I was in a podcast with an influencer of Latin America and Europe. And we were talking about fascism, about social media manipulation and manipulation of emotions. Because I said, look what Bolivar was saying 200 years ago. Because of deceivement, we have been dominated more than by force. And we have been degraded more by vice than for superstition. Slavery is born from darkness. An ignorant people is a blind instrument of its own destruction. These are statements of Bolivar that have marked from the foundation of its original project from our commander Chavez, our vision to interpret all of the time, past times and present times, and to vaccine our people from deceivement or the use of force. I can say today in 2025, nor for deceivement, nor by force, they will dominate Venezuela again, nor the oligarchies, last names, nor the North American empire, nor its followers, satellite governments, wherever they are, nor by deceivement, nor by force. They have been able to do it, and they will never do it with us, the Bolivarians, of this and all times. Slavery is born from darkness. They are the darkness. I was saying it to my brothers and sisters, pastors, and my Catholic friends, Jewish, Hindus, and the people of God, wherever they are, listening and seeing us. Fascism is born from darkness. They are darkness. We have to be the light, the sun, that lightens our homeland Venezuela in the name of Almighty God, the greatest forces of divinity and the truth. Slavery is born from darkness. An ignorant people is a blind instrument of its own destruction. But look what follows. Greed. Intrigue, abuse of credibility and inexperience of those who ignore political, economic, or civil knowledge. Greed and intrigue of yesterday and today, of the oligarchies, imperialism, fascism, I would say, quoting and incorporating comments to the original text of Bolivar of February 1819, when he was installing the Constituent Congress. Ambition, intrigue, abuse of credibility and inexperience of people who ignore political and civil knowledge. They adopt a reality, pure illusions. They take as realities mere illusions. They take license by freedom, treason by patriotism, and revenge by justice. Anything similar to the reality of those who direct fascism in Venezuela. It's not a coincidence, it's the same. Yesterday, colonialism, the oligarchies, and today, the declining and defeated fascism that will not take political power in our homeland.
La traición por patriotismo.
Treason by patriotism.
La venganza
revenge
por la justicia.
For justice.
Es robusta.
It's strong.
La doctrina y la
and thick. The doctrine of our project is authentic.
Es creación. Maravillosa.
It's creation, marvelous creation.
Antes ya había dicho el maestro Simón Rodríguez.
Simón Rodríguez said before, or we create or we fail. We are this blessed homeland called Jerusalem of South America, Venezuela. 2024, we keep to encourage and our knowledge of our roots, the cultural strength of which Aquil Nazoa was talking about, the creating powers of our people, taking to its greatest expression diffusion and spreading and debate of these foundational documents, 1990, then well known for you, Blue Book, and in a beautiful way and magnificent way, pictures the future dreams. General Luis Reyes, commander of the revolution, the future dreams you draw in the 90s, that group of dreamers who fulfilled their dream, our commander, Hugo Chavez. Here is the original model. He speaks of the three roots. He published this book, and I won't get tired of publishing. To read it or in social media, publish it, study it, review it. I don't get tired of doing it.
Jefes militares del país, no me canso de revisar la doctrina original propia de nuestra tierra, de nosotros, los venezolanos, los suramericanos, los nuestroamericanos,
the South American,
los bolivarianos.
The Bolivarian.
¿Cómo se fue convirtiendo todo esto en un proyecto de
how
país?
this became a project of country.
¿Cómo nuestra revolución
And our
bolivariana
Bolivarian revolution,
hace 25 años nacía
25 years ago,
de la mano de un gran debate
was
nacional,
born from a great national debate,
de un gran acto democratizador de la vida pública.
a great act of democratizing the public
¿Cuál
life.
es el líder más democratizador de la vida pública venezolana?
What's the leader of the public life of Venezuela? You need to answer Commander Hugo Rafael Chávez Fría, our commander, eternal president, without a doubt, the most democratic leader of all history. That is why even evil people pretend to use the name of our commander to create intrigue and deceivement. The new deceivement on the basis of repeating that secret name, Hugo Rafael Chávez Frías. But all people know where things are, and from that was born this power.
Acabamos de cumplir 25 años
We just celebrated 25 years of this, and it's stronger than ever. The Constitution that founded our homeland, and for the 21st century, it founded the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. No matter who is bothered by it, because it has the character of Bolivar. Here's the trajectory, the Blue Book, our marvelous Constitution. The proposal made by our Commander Chavez in the 2019 that allowed us to face the
que nos permitió transitar las tormentas que llegaron a nuestras costas, a nuestro cielo, hecho de puño y letra de nuestro comandante.
And by our Commander Chavez, with the experience of his years as leader, Commander-in-Chief, Head of State, Founder of the Armed Force. Then we proposed in 2018 the Plan of Homeland 2018-2025 with the slogan, "Everything is possible together," taking the essence and the strength of the legacy of our Commander Chavez. And with that plan, we faced the aggressions, the unprecedented aggressions against the economic, political, social, institutional body of Venezuela. It's always needed for the leaders and for our people to review the path we have walked, the inspiring ideas of all times, the lessons we have learned in every battle, and take out of it conclusions of strength. All that led us to something that I vindicate with strength. From being one of the best years of all of the decades, not only in the economic field, in the field of progressive social recovery, the field of strengthening our institutions. One of the things I vindicate the most is that in 2024, due to a great debate and a great consultation with millions of women and men like you, there in the field, in the neighborhoods, communities, universities, in high schools, in the factories, due to a great debate with our people, our guide, the plan was born of the upcoming years of the future of Venezuela, the plan of the seven great transformations of our homeland. It's here, ready for the future, for a new era of changes, transition to socialism, a new era that implies the deepening of transformations in a simultaneous way, harmonic in all fronts, work fronts, in all of the battlefields, and in the building of our country and development of world geopolitics. The plan of the 70, and we have achieved, thanks to that also in 2024, we were able to, in 2024 in Venezuela, as a result of the process of deepening of the Bolivarian Revolution, was born a great strength. From the great transformations of the Plan of the 70 was born the great historic popular bloc of the Bolivarian Revolution. Along with the 5 generations that are active in the social, political life, cultural, economic life of our country. 5 generations that we have seen clearly the generation of those who educated and founded the Bolivarian Revolution, those who accompanied Commander Chavez as a leader, as a father in all of those historic actions. Generation of gold, qualified like that by our Commander Chavez, the first generation that took the streets and defended the revolution when needed, when several criminals that live in the exile, those of the extreme right wing, fascist, and thefts. However, we have our powerful and beautiful and working generation, the youngest generation that has come from this 10 years, and what is coming, the great generation in any sense, not only great in politics, great leaders in schools, in education, in culture, in sports, and great in science and innovation. That generation, I have founded a university, Humberto Fernando Moran, because that generation is going to be at the forefront in Latin America and the Caribbean in science, technology, and innovation, so that we go ahead in development and on the field of human knowledge in a world that, if you are left behind, you're over. If you're left behind, you will enter a time of darkness and the domain of those who intend to dominate the world through technology and science. 2 important elements: Diosdado, Celia, Jorge. We must not stop highlighting for even a second 2024, the elaboration of this great plan of transformations that puts us 4 steps behind, ahead of what we're doing with the assumption of the new presidential inauguration from January 10th. And it's a concept that in the field has its expression. Antonio Gramsci is that great revolutionary socialist, a great man who was kidnapped and imprisoned in the cells of the creator of fascism, Benito Mussolini. In the prisons of fascism, he wrote his documents of greater impact. Antonio Gramsci talks about civil society inspired by Carlos Marx, and develops the concept of hegemony of the dominant class and the concept of the historic bloc. Inside out, we might say it here. Why inside and out? Because he discovered how the historic bloc works to dominate the peoples, and how the new historic bloc, new cultural and political hegemony should work to liberate the peoples of oppression and those, no matter if these are colonialist powers or inner oligarchies. That concept was discovered by Commander Chavez early, and he studied it deeply because he had a mentor, Enrique Duce, a Mexican, great professor. Greetings to the people of Mexico watching us. Our love to the Mexican people. He was in Venezuela. His books were published here. It's a man of great ideas, and these books are complex and sometimes corresponds to science. One see complex concepts in medical, biological, and mathematics science, but in social and historic science, there's also men like Duce who are capable of comprehending social political phenomena of society and capable of adding something, and they deserve an analysis, a thorough analysis, something that Chavez did for all of us. He did it for all of us. He built the necessary concept that the Bolivarian Revolution had to go to a great national consensus and had to build new consensus within the society, and those consensus had to result in a new cultural, political, and economic reality. And from that, a great historic bloc should emerge that directed the whole land and take it through the path of the development of the constitutional project of democratization of all sectors of the Venezuelan society. And I can say, after these years of fight, the strengthening of the communal power, and her brother is here, he is traveling the whole country. After so many fights and building of power in the bases in our territories, communal councils, communes, communal circuits, after development of the social strength, more than 200 social movement, workers, students, after development of over 14 political movements and political powers headed by the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, after the cultural and ideological fight and the rebirth of the popular cultural movement of Venezuela, 2024 has to be remembered as the year of the born of the new great historic popular Bolivarian transforming bloc to build a modern society, humanist, based on the values of Christ. Christ, amen, and Bolivar, amen. These are two elements that we need to highlight, two elements that are playing a vital role in the crisis that is developing in the start of this year. We ended the year 2024 overheated. I said that our trade was overheated. Without a doubt, it happened in general because of the happiness and joy of the people. I have to confess, as I know deeply the people, what is a daily party. I've never seen what I saw in November and December. People sharing with the family, dancing here and there. We received gifts from so many families, and the happiness in December, the happiness of giving as I gave. And in December, I become Saint Nicholas, and I deliver 14 million toys to the children of Venezuela. 14 million toys of high quality. Toys manufactured in Venezuela. We need to invest more in this sector. Imagine at the end of the year how many toys we require to deliver to the children and communities. It was a special year even in that sector. December 24th, December 31. And so that you were happy, we were 24 hours a day working. These uniformed men and women there, military staff and policemen of our homeland, 24/7, safeguarding tranquility, peace, and stability of Venezuela, of each territory, each parish, each municipality. In that period, the popular intelligence, police intelligence, and military intelligence captured 125 mercenaries of almost 15 nationalities that came to carry out terrorist activities in Venezuela. It was explained today by the Vice President of Security, Minister of the Popular Power, Diosdado Cabello Rondón, Bolivarian captain. Some complained about it, as the Argentinians, for example. But I can say today, Diosdado didn't say, but I can say it. We were waiting for those people. Thank God. We need to thank God that we have military intelligence, and they came from the south of America with specific plans to try to Delcy Rodriguez. God protects her always. It's a lie that they had a girlfriend here. It's a lie. They have wives here, there in Argentina. And directly, the Argentinian government is involved in the plans of attempting against the peace in Venezuela, as they denounce it. And all those processes are together, are being investigated. and it's not my duty to provide more details. 125 mercenaries. You have the nationalities written. To say less, I can say that we are proud. He as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the police forces, I'm proud of the military staff and police staff of Venezuela because we have granted peace and stability, the face of fascist national international threats. Proud of you, uniformed men and women.
Guardia en alta. Guardia en alta. Y listo para el combate
ready
permanente.
To permanent fight. And alert. What do you say, Diosdado? Diosdado Cabello Rondon. Third press release. Thank you, President. Effectively, the terrorists captured 125 from 25 nationalities, including Venezuelans, were coming to our country to accomplish specific tasks, attack public services, terrorist acts, and attack leaders of our revolution. And as the President said, a group of people, and the first mission they had was attack the Vice President. And they have been detained and processed. They have faced justice as it corresponds. The Argentinian government in March said that they were going to send to Venezuela a group of army. They are fulfilling what they promised. Our systems of popular intelligence, of the bodies of intelligence, and they are detained today, facing justice. This is a fascist international aggression promoted by the North American empire. Who doubts it? The empire is... We were born in the face of empires and defeating empires. And we will continue in our path. That is why I tell you, each man and woman of Venezuela has to be an active entity in taking care of the right to peace in the national territory, the whole national territory. 2024 ended in offensive in all of the work fronts, and we are not only filled with pride but also with joy. We had a debt, a constitutional debt, and we had to pay for it, and we did. The Constitution established the elements to move forward in 1989, the establishment of the justice of peace in Venezuela. That debate was open from January in the National Assembly, the only source of legislative power, the National Assembly, elected by the people in December 2020, I correct myself, in the midst of the pandemic. The National Assembly styled in January 1st, 2021, the only legislative power in Venezuela, among other marvelous law. It opened a debate with the Venezuelan people and collected the base proposals of the communities, and in November it approved by a majority the organic law to create justice of peace in Venezuela. I received as head of state and constitutional president the law. I signed it. You must know that the Constitution establishes that the legislative power creates the law and the executive power ratifies it and promulgates it, so that these are laws effective in the whole national territory. And as we came strengthening direct democracy, territorial democracy, communal democracy for the whole year, immediately I say it to my team: this law has to be done before and in the year. We're going to have the justices of the communal peace, and we ended the 2024 strengthening democracy at unprecedented levels in Venezuela. And on December 15th, our people elected the justices of the communal peace that are today a marvelous reality. As we spoke about everything now, Nahun is here. How many things? We have time these days and these months to continue analyzing in each community, along with our people, the lessons. We ended 2024 in offensive of peace and joy of the people, democratizing offensive, and economic and police and military offensive. Because 2024 we moved forward from the civical police military union. We moved to what today is a reality, the popular military police fusion. I declare it, and it's going to be like this for the upcoming years: the deep fusion of the popular power, the military power, and the police power of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela is the spine of the great historic block of our battles and the battles that we're going to face in the upcoming years. In the name of God, it will be this week. Amen. So here we have how we could call this the path towards the future. How would you call this in the military world? Here it is: Bolivar, Constitution, Bolivar Blue Book, Constitution, first plan of our homeland written by Chavez, second plan of our homeland, and now the marvelous and great plan of the great transformations, plan of the 70, 2025, 2030. We have powers, we have doctrines, strategies. We are the only ones that have a plan for this country. We have the leadership, popular, civil, political, military, police, and this homeland. At our hands, it's going to make progress, and anything nor anybody will disrupt that progress. Several announcements were made about beautiful events that are ongoing. We had a beautiful event today. We welcomed Here in Miraflores, the presidential palace, we welcome the most beautiful that Venezuela has. The children that came here
con su inocencia, con su amor, con su belleza y sus bendiciones, todos los espacios de este palacio presidencial que es del pueblo.
This palace, which is the people's.
A Miraflores llegaron los tres reyes magos.
The three wise men arrived at Miraflores. President Maduro received in Miraflores Palace the three wise men. They bring luck. They have prestige. They come from the East. They come from the Persian world. They come here to know and to see the baby Jesus. We receive them with a comparsa with different Caracas parrochs, a cultural movement which is part of a culture mission, which are coming here with the help of the Colmenitas from Cuba. We were sharing. Admiral Aum was there. Villegas was there. He was invited, right? All the work team was sharing in a very harmonic and beautiful way. Today, 6th of January, it was the sports mass in the morning. I saw Delcy there at the church. You know that she studied in a monks non-school in Barquisimeto. She studied as a nun, for a nun. So she knows very well. She prays very well. She was with the sportsmen. My greetings. Arnaldo was telling me, the Minister of Sports. I greet all the sportsmen and women. The marathon was held in Caracas. Activities, cultural activities, musical activities, sports activities, social activities. It was announced by the 7th, 8th, and the 9th of January, great mobilizations of the people in all the cities of the country. Also, they have announced all camping of the farmers' movement, of the militia people, young people. The people mobilized because they received a letter in which the invitation has been reiterated on the 5th of January. President of the National Assembly, Jorge Rodriguez, has reiterated the invitation for the swearing-in, constitutional swearing-in, that corresponds to the new period, the new term of the constitutional term. It is very clear. It's binding. On the 9th of January of the first year of the term, the presidential candidate elected and proclaimed by the authorities, electoral authorities, should swear in before the National Assembly. And this is going to happen in Venezuela, the swearing in of the 10th of January, 2025, in peace, in union, national union, together with the people. There will be imperialism that stop it. Venezuela has its destiny, its time already written, and there will be peace and stability, democracy, and people on the street. Because I should say, and you can, okay, it's a big call here. Can you just bring me something to? Okay, you're just drinking coffee, grinding coffee. I should say, Dr. Jorge Rodriguez, deputies of the National Assembly. This is not a name, a problem of a name. It's not a man. It's a historic project. It's not a name. It's a centuries legacy. It's not a man. It's a people. The North American imperialism, decadent, fascism, all the surnames. It's not Maduro. And we're going to demonstrate it. It's one people that is decided to be free, that has decided to build its own destiny, and that we will never be dominated nor brought to submission by them. Not ever. Ever. Today is Maduro. That's what Chavez said. Today is Maduro's in charge. That boy that was formed in the neighborhoods, that was forged in the working class. Here, the one that I'm here, it's not me. I'm you. I am from the neighborhoods. I am a working man. And they are actually burning themselves because I'm not from the surnames. I will never be from the surnames. Never. I will not submit myself. I will not give up to the imperialism and to the surname people. I will never surrender. This workman that is here will never betray the people under any circumstances. They can just write it down in the storm, the eternal storm of the times. Today with God, I have the God force. I have the force of the people. And once again, as David, we will defeat Goliath. Any Goliath that they put in front of us, wherever Goliath sits and stands, we will go with the David force and the force of God before us. Nobody will impede, will avoid, will keep us from being institutionalized. The Constitution will be accomplished. The Constitution will be respected. There is a law. There's a law. There are institutions, powerful institutions. There is a people here. There is a fusion, popular fusion, civic and military fusion, and political one, activated with plans, ready. Diosdado was saying it today. They're talking about, they're boasting, as they are, that there will be violence in Venezuela. That they were going to bring a conflict of self-destruction. A conflict that they call zero sum. And it's, of course, they are more deteriorated. The fascist proposal is more wrinkled, more destroyed. But since we are already ready, we are ready for any option A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, K, A, L, M, O, P, Q, and whatever letter you put in. From the Alpha to Omega, they can search for us. And we will be the guarantor of peace and of life and of the joy and the development of the people. We'll be the guarantors and we will move forward forever. This is not a problem of one man. You know me. We know each other, actually. We know each other very well, actually. And you know that we were not born in the day of the coward and the day of the people that are afraid. You know, and they know very well. We were born the day of the homeland, the day of the brave people. These are not times of traitors. These are not times of cowards. It's time of collective bravery, of people's fight, of absolute union in the country. It's time of victory, a time of victory, victory and victory. It's time of victory for the homeland. It's very beautiful, everything that we have building. We have to continue advancing, moving forward in strengthening the institutions, the new institution which has been transformed and will transform the society. We have to have times that allow to empower the men and people. This year we have 9 elections. Those who are recovering from the 31st and the 1st. Look, Maduro is talking. Let's see what Maduro is saying. So listen. This year we have 9 elections. What? Where did Maduro take these 9 elections from? They don't want democracy. Or they want a dictatorship. Or do they want a system like Milei's? Milei's, the garbage of Milei, the Nazi of Milei. Is a big leader the far right in Argentina was looking for. They don't know him. They don't know. The more they meet with fascists as Milei of imperialism, these people is decided to be more free, because we will not allow the country to be deprived of freedom and the homeland. This history, this democracy, 9 elections. We have a lot of work ahead of us. But of course, it's a nice work. The roulette of fortune is actually favoring us. And a country like ours, which is actually putting itself in charge of doing a great history from the great dreams of our liberators, we are actually putting ourselves with great projects. We have to be very pleased to know that we're going to do it, that we can do it. Commander Hugo Chavez was saying when he was in the jail of Ayare, he started talking about a concept. I don't know if Ricardo has found something in his investigation. Do you remember? When Commander Chavez started talking about the concrete Ethiopia, he was saying that there were 2 kinds of Ethiopia. The Ethiopia that are not possible to realize. For example, Jorge studied that a lot. He has books on that. The Utopia of Thomas More. Who has read Thomas More? Okay, beyond there, somebody raised his hand. We're going to give him this floor so that she can explain the utopia. It's a romantic utopia, like a dream that many generations had for years in the past, which they also have still today. They are political utopia, they are religious utopias. The dream of heaven, that's a religious utopia. The paradise is a religious utopia that we Christians, we have as a condition. We know that what we do on earth, we have a place ready in the paradise, where we will be happy forever. There are others that they will go up to the paradise and they will start spraying again. The utopia. Chavez started talking about the concrete utopia, the Bolivarian utopia. And we're going to that place to build utopia. We want democracy in Venezuela. So let's build a new democracy. Do we want a political system according to this idiosyncrasy, our ideas? So let's build that new political mode. Do we want a new society in harmony, in peace, of equal people? Socialist. Let's make it possible. Let's build it. Let's not allow anybody to come here to disturb ourselves. We have 9 elections this year, 6 elections of popular character. In the communal circuits, we have 5,907 communal circuits. Attention, communal powers on the 26th of January, Sunday, 26th of January, it's already fixed the date of the first election, general elections in Venezuela, to nominate and vote and elect the communal projects of 5,297 communities. And afterwards, there will be another elections. We have 4 elections of community elections for projects, general projects of a community. These have shown that have been a very successful thing. And of course, afterwards, we will have two other elections, specific elections that could be very close to April, for projects of the youth, nominated by the youth, directed by the youth, and belonging to the youth, and projects of Ernesto Villegas is with you, all the culture people, 5,297 culture projects nominated, and by the culture people in Mission Venezuela, my beloved homeland, and voted by the people. Do you want democracy? More democracy. Direct, more direct democracy, better democracy, socialism. This is called socialism. Milei could do this. No, Milei cannot do this because they belong to a sect of economic power in Argentina, the Nazi sect, the Zionist sect in Argentina, the hatred sect, the sadist, because Milei is a sadist. Milei is a sadist. It's a sodomist. But that's another thing. I'm not going to talk about this now. The sadic sodomist Milei. So afterwards, we have 3 more elections. 3 elections. The mayor's elections of municipal council, 335 municipalities in the country. But it's only one day. The government elections and legislative councils of 24 governors, because we're going to elect the governor of Guayana Esequiba, also the state of Guayana Esequiba, the first governor, elected governor by the people, elected by the people. And we also have the elections, corresponding election to Sovereign National Assembly and the legislative power of the Republic. So what is this about? What is this about? It's a country's project, a nation's project. We have it here, a wonderful project that we should keep in time and space. So let's adjust ourselves. Let's adjust all the permanent plans to continue guaranteeing the maximum mobilization, popular mobilization. Let's not be victim of the provocation of fascism. Let's be calm. Let's continue our spirit, our tranquility. Tomorrow, the school starts tomorrow. To end this school year 2024-2025, we're going to deliver tomorrow 100 new schools already recuperated by the military community brigades, 100 new schools already equipped, brand new, 100 new schools and liceos, and we're going that way. We have an objective. I'm not going to insist on that, but we're going to recuperate all the 100% of all the schools that have been damaged. And this is possible with the investment and the participation of the people as it is being done. So maximum coordination by the people and military on all the mechanisms should function, all the capacities that we have should be put in action to guarantee the peace, to guarantee that the offensive of the end of the 2024 and the beginning of 2025 continues in time. There won't be force on earth that had the capacity to turn our arms in Venezuela to damage the peace and the future of our country. I was reminding the military chief, police chief, leaders, men and women, authorities in the country, democratic authorities, legitimate authorities in the country, comrades of the community councils, plats, movements, social movements that are connected along from south to north of our country, from east to west. I was reminding them. I was reminding the journalist and writer and intellectual French-Spanish Ignacio Ramonet, the interview that he gave me on the 1st of January. I reminded him at the end, from the office number 1 in this presidential palace, it came to me. The remembrance, very living. I always thank God. I always thank God for the life He has given us, for having walked this road, and I thank God for what I have lived and what we have lived, what we are living, very beautiful times, very fantastic times, historic times. But above all, I thank God for the times to come, the times we're going to live, where the greening and revival of this sacred land and blessed land, which is Venezuela, with our own effort, with our own efforts, that day that I visited to deliver the rolling skate rink, I was telling the youth, combine 3 formulas of 3 great men. The first formula, José Gervasio Artigas, great liberator in the East, also our liberator, who said, let's not wait about anything about things of our own. Let's not wait anything from anybody except from us. This is a very good formula. We have very much good results with this. They blockaded us. They sanctioned us. We're going forward anyway. At the end, they are actually self-blocking themselves. They are self-blocking. They're just shooting their feet. Because we're going to be free with them or without them, with our own efforts. We're not going to wait anything from anybody except from us. And let's do this country a prosperous country with our own work. Nobody will win the work. We will grow in all the aspects of the economy of life of the country. Economy, cultural, political. Second, Simón Rodríguez. Our commander-in-chief, Commander Hugo Chavez, wrote it very well in his blue book by the year 1990, when he described as one of the three roots of our historic project. In this book, in this blue book, Simón Rodríguez, 1828. You didn't know that, right? Did you know it? Simón Rodríguez was saying, comrades, leaders, where will we going to search for models? In the Spanish American is original. Original should be their institution and governments. Original should be the means to found them. Or do we invent, or we make mistakes? America should not imitate anybody, but being original. Being original. We invent and we save, and that's what we've been doing, and we will do that. Simón Rodríguez, I was telling the youth yesterday, and they top it off with a very spectacular phrase. The creed of our poet Aquiles Azoa, when in the development of his poem work, he was saying all his creeds, paraphrasing the Christian creed, he left a sentence. I believe in the power, in the creative power of the people. Let's believe in the creative power of this gigantic people that we have. Let's believe in that. And he was saying that he was remembering an outbreak of feelings in that interview of Ignacio Ramonet on the January the 1st. I recommend that. It's in my network. It's very good. Because I remember there that Commander Chavez, with his 40 years in 1994, when he was speaking about the dream of the utopia, of the Bolivarian utopia, to work and to build a Bolivarian world without any imperialism, to overcome the multipolar world, unipolar world. And he was telling us of 30 years that we had, and many others that were younger. 19th century was robbed, was stolen from us with treason. They stabbed us. They stabbed Bolivar. They killed Sucre. And they just plotted and they distributed this land among the surnames. The 20th century, the treason was again. They overthrew Cipriano Castro. They finished governments. They betrayed Fabricio Ojeda. And the dream of the 23rd of January 1958. They stole the 20th century from us. But he was telling us as a prophet, but let's make sure that the 21st century will be ours. The 21st century will be the century of the peoples. We're here now in the 2025. This is our century, 21st century. The homeland will continue moving in peace, and everybody active and prepared on the street to defend peace of Venezuela. Long live happiness of Venezuela. Chavez lives. Independence and socialist homeland. We shall overcome. And you make sure, absolute men and women of this land, that we shall overcome. Good night, good evening. God bless you. God bless all Venezuela. We continue to be active. First Monday, we started very good. We go forward. Thank you very much.
De esta manera ha culminado esta importante actividad en el Salón Boyacá del Palacio de Miraflores, como ha dicho el presidente constitucional de la República.
This way, this activity has ended. As President of the Republic, the first activity of the work is this meeting with a conference with leaders and in the country. Well, all the armed forces are also included, representatives of the regional governments, representatives of the mayorship, with the purpose of this important meeting to reinforce the basis ahead of the 2030, as the President has said.
Un año fundamental, el año 2024, en relación a lo que significó el nacimiento del plan de las 7 transformaciones, que ya está cabalgando todo el territorio nacional para generar una nueva época.
We were live with the Venezuelan president, who held a working meeting with the executive cabinet, military high command, and sectoral vice presidents.